Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Mahoutsukai no Yome, episode 11, season 2, episode 11. I guess it's just going to be a thing from now on, meaning that it's late again, and I should be heading to bed right now, but here I am recording because I set myself a goal of recording 2 episodes a day, and I record one of them during the day, and then I just kind of forget about it, and I remember it in the evening, and I have to record another episode in the evening. And Mahoutsukai no Yome is it's kind of perfect for it. It's not. It doesn't require much effort to record. I don't force myself to record it. I like it. I like what's going on. It's decently, slowly paced. I don't have to pay a metric ton of attention. There aren't 17 layers of, of lore to it, right? And if I don't know the lore of something, I can just Google it, because chances are that something is an actual real thing in the Celtic or Gaelic or Nordic mythology. So that makes things much easier. So yeah, here we are again, evening, sleepy, late, but we are watching Mahoutsukai no Yome, episode 11, the penultimate one, kinda, sorta, because the penultimate of the first part of the second season, basically. Because the second part of the second season is coming out as well, right now. I think it's at episode... what would it be? Episode 4, so in total episode 16. Whatever, I really don't like split course, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, either we are approaching the midpoint or we are approaching the end, depending how we look at it, I guess. Right. What happened in the previous episode? Well, the previous episode was mostly a setup for the finale. That's how I see it. Or rather, the continuation of that setup. We know that the biggest deal right now is the book, the Carnamagos Testament of Carnamagos, I think something like that it's called. That someone stole, someone who used Webster's spiders to create a copy of that book, and now is using it, the original, that is, to sap people's power, magic power, and not just once, but rather to sap it continuously, or at least to sap it whenever they feel like it. We still have no clue who it is. Who would it be? Who does it? Maybe it's the Sergeant family, Philomela's grandmother and her ilk, but we don't know that. We can't be sure. Maybe it's someone else. We know that, again, probably we don't know that for sure. Philomela's grandma sent a couple of assassins, werewolf assassins, after Lucy Webster, and I guess it kind of ties in, right? Webster's spiders were used for the heist, so now they're trying to wrap the loose ends and get rid of the last living Webster. Maybe. Or maybe those two are just completely orthogonal things that are happening at the same time. Who's to say? Who's to say? Wouldn't surprise me if the Testament of Carnamagos was actually something that continues throughout the season as a whole, all the way until episode 24 or whatever is the planned last episode. Kinda sorta like Cartaphilus in season 1, right? He was also a constant threat that continued throughout the season. Appeared in episode 7, 8, something thereabouts, and continued all throughout. And the finale of this part of this core is going to be dealing with Philomela's family. Because we have to deal with that, because we have to free Philomela. Right? We have to make Philomela our friend. It's in the ending, and god damn it, I want to see that. I want to see Philomela, Lucy, and Chise just being the bestest of friends, attending school, getting some crepes, and just having fun. I really want to see that. So hopefully that's where it's going. But I just kind of went into a completely unrelated rant, I guess. That's what happens when I'm recording, when I'm sleepy and tired. I just go into, maybe not non sequiturs, but kinda, sorta. We were talking about the previous episode, right? So, the werewolf assassins were sent after Lucy Webster and Seth. Yeah, Seth as well, because he's also one of the last living Websters, one of the two last living Websters, despite not having the name of a Webster, despite not having magical powers, etc., etc. But still, the bloodline is there, you could say. Chise lured that werewolf assassins into the world between worlds, into the intradimensional space with the funny dogs, in hopes that the dogs will help them. They did. They killed one of the werewolves. And Chise decided to pay the toll for the other one. Because the other one was female and mentioned a child. So that female werewolf ripped off the head of the male one, clamped down on his face, on his snout with her mouth, and ran away. And it was the weirdest thing I witnessed in recent memory. And that's the end of the werewolf arc so far, rather, because I believe they will return. Maybe, probably. They are probably connected with the Surgeon family. They are probably Philomela's like cousins and brothers and sisters and whatnot. We'll see. We will see about that. And Elias made a friend with the dog sensei. Is his name listed anywhere on the list of characters? No such luck, I'm afraid. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Simeon Paladil? Simeon Paladil. Okay, so Simeon Sensei. He also got his energy sapped, and he was left somewhere else. That's interesting, that he was actually moved by the perpetrator, so it wasn't done remotely. It wasn't just, he got sucked out of his powers and then just left there. No, his limp body was moved. Curious why. So that he can be found and recharged with energy back, so that whoever has the book can get that energy again? Probably. Or rather, possibly. And in the end, we got the... you guys told me in the comments that it is a character from Season 1. It's like the leader of the Witches' Coven that wanted to recruit Chise, and I kinda sorta remember it now, I guess. I would have to rewatch Season 1 to remember it fully, but I have a vague recollection, let's just say. And she checked up on Simeon, figured out that it's the same thing that she saw when she looked into the Testament of Carnamagos herself. So it's confirmed that it's the Testament's doing. And in the end, Chise got questioned by Lucy. Why did you not just leave those two werewolves to die? They killed my family. They didn't give a fuck that they're leaving a child alone, and You just took pity on them because they have a child? Where's the fairness in that? Where's the justice? And of course, Chise has a lot to think about in this regard. Although Lucy did notice the good side of it, that one of the werewolves being left alive means there is someone to question, means we can potentially capture them and question them. Who was it that ordered her family slaughtered? Because she suspects her brother. That's also an important part. We learned about her backstory, we learned about the massacre in full. So first of all, she's standoffish towards her brother because she believes that he got chased off and exiled from the family because she was set up to be the next heir. She took his place, so he got chased off, which isn't the case, we know that, but she was like 10 back then, so of course her understanding would be a little different. And she also suspects that he was the one who ordered the family killed, which again doesn't make sense, but feelings and traumas and whatever you want to call it, they don't always follow sense, they don't always follow logic. I would even say that they most of the time don't. And in the end, Lucy fainted because she got her powers sapped from her by the Testament of Cartaphilus, and Chise is going to have to help her again. That does it for the summary. I've been talking enough. So how about we now watch it? Today's episode is the first part of the two-parter, so that's what I can figure out what's today's episode gonna be about. Besides that, I don't know, probably tracking down the werewolves, maybe certainly trying to save Simeon and Lucy, maybe dispel the curse or something. So now let's watch episode 11. You're gonna need your subs, I'm gonna need my sound, and I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel monetarily on Patreon or YouTube, linked down below or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 11 of Mahoutsukai no Yome, season 2 in 3, 2, 1, go. Philomela? Hello there. Right, yeah, Chise's little potpourri, she called it? Yeah, potpourri. Philomela really likes that potpourri. Oh, could it be that the werewolves were Philomela's parents? Would that be too much of a stretch? Mayhaps. That's better, I think. That might be a little bit too much of a stretch. And it would get in the way of friendship between Philomela and Chise, so probably not the case. Somehow related to sergeants, though. I wonder if Philomela is actually a werewolf. That was one of the first theories I had when the werewolves appeared. Yeah, right now it really seems like the Webster's and the Cartaphilus Testament could be part of the same storyline, and they also could be entirely orthogonal. Yep. Simeon, rather. So we gotta somehow get rid of that curse because it essentially behaves like a curse. That's an idea. Figure out where the source is. Or the goal, rather. Someone closed the connection. Yep. Is Chise going to volunteer? Right, so they might have been targeted. With the intent to cause harm. Yep, 100%. Also probable. Because now Elias understands friendship. A little bit, at least. She's gonna get involved anyway. Fair. No. It's kind of hard to read his emotions, to be fair. Extra class? What's the occasion? Cartaphilus? No, Philomela. Hello. Is it Philomela who has the book in her hand right now? No, she's asking for a new potpourri. Why are you kneeling in front of her, Philomela? Yeah, wanna be friends? Wanna be pals? I mean, of course, like mixing some sense. That's not exactly rocket science. Victoria? Veronica, sorry. Probably Veronica. What kind of runes, though? Elder Futhark? Younger Futhark? Dotted Futhark? Elder Futhark. Okay. They do. Raido is journey, Gebo is love. Thurisaz, also known as Thorn, yes. Representing the age sound. Why? That seems to fit Chise to a T, actually. prickly like always. That's Iwas. Can't remember its meaning, but it's letter E, basically. Veronica? The fuck are you doing here? Oh, I thought it's her room and Zoe is being a creep. But no, it's the infirmary. Why exactly are you here, Zoe? Okay, you came to wake her up. To tell her that she needs more sleep. Great thinking, mate. Come on, Zoe. She wants to pet your snake. I'm sorry, but the double meaning here is so incredibly open. You can only pet my snake. My sister petting the snakes of other people. Well, Silky just looks fucking shell-shocked. Yeah, Silky can't exactly follow, can she? Headpats. Headpats. Oh, she brought the sheep. Would be nice having one of those as a familiar. I mean, they don't even need to be like strictly sacrificial animals. People just have sheep for wool, for meat as well. It's, nothing outlandish to buy a couple of sheep for meat. Yeah, like you'd have to leave your arm there or something. And also that, yes. Her short hair are growing on me, you know? Yeah, she still has fairly suicidal tendencies. Well, you're not exactly showing that. I think it might be because she kinda rid herself of her inhibitions, right? Like, she was ready to end her life, so now it no longer is an inhibition to her. That's also a fair point. Sure, she's not always just risking herself, right? Should she die recklessly trying to protect some people, they would be just put in danger. As opposed to if she was actually patient and stood her ground and able to protect her friends. Halloween. That's a great costume, my dude. What are those? Potpourris? Oh, just little sacks of treats. Gotcha. More like certainty at this point, but sure. Undergrounders, well, elaborate. Sure. Is he shady or is he not? I'm still having trouble figuring it out. He probably is shady, but not in a way that would make him have anything to do with this whole situation here. Oh? You wanna go trick or treating? Lucy is her stubborn self, that's what's going on. Of course. Yes, that's exactly what's going on. Unlikely, but sure, go off. Okay, Rian and Joe are both here. Right, the waste tower, the undergrounders and whatnot. Why do they keep it? So it's like a dungeon, basically. Like the labyrinth from Nanatsu no Makengashi Kaisuru. We're gonna go with you. Or that. We're all going. Whomst. Hello, Philomela. So yeah, the Waste Tower, the Undergrounders, etc., etc., are involved in the whole situation at school. Ah, perfect. Keikakudori. Now I have 5 sacrifices. Hello, Fabio Zaccheroni. Okay, you just casually rip that orange in half, why don't you? Don't like oranges much? That's an interesting way to put it. Whomst. Wachmann. Oh, she's blind. No. No, they went with Fabio. With human sacrifices. Or something shady like that. Are we entering Jurassic Park? So, undead, chimeras, dinosaurs. Perfect. Perfect dungeon. And you can get rare minerals, rare plants. Right, where are you in this whole shebang? So is she like creating problems willingly or something? Oh. Grandmother dearest is withdrawing her, I would assume. Okay. The plot thickens. As if it wasn't thick enough around Philomela, right? Yeah, I'm trying to put it all together in my head, but I can't figure it out. Not entirely, and not with 100% certainty. It's kind of wild, actually, you know? Usually, by episode 9, 10, 11, tops, they give you enough clues to figure out what's gonna happen. That's spoilers, so let's not. Okay, let's watch it again. There we go. Philomela really likes that potpourri. Let's be honest, Chise is probably her one and only friend. That's how I see it. She has been shunned all the time at her house. She was allowed to go to the college only at Veronica's request, and Veronica isn't exactly her friend either, more like a master-servant kind of relationship, it would seem. So it really feels like Philomela is in a situation very similar to Zoe. Zoe was also brought up in an environment without other people. Problem is, Zoe was raised in an environment without outsiders, but the people who were there were generally positive towards him, or at least neutral, right? He wasn't the dark sheep of the village or anything of the sort. He had loving parents. The other villagers probably didn't mind him either. Meanwhile, Philomela is only ever faced with negativity, and Chise is the only person who has shown her any modicum of kindness. Yeah, we get a confirmation that it's all the Carnamagos testament. Can't trace it, and this is actually an interesting question and a very important one. Is it the nature of the spell that it cannot be traced, or is it that they're concealing it? Curious. I would imagine that to conceal such an ancient and powerful and forbidden spell, you would have to have quite the skill to alter it in that way. That's based on completely nothing, but that's the vibe I'm getting. So, both Narcisse and the headmistress are becoming more and more sus. More and more sus. It would take a sleigh baggie to provide more than what's being taken. So Lucy was essentially overcharged with Chise's magic. That's why she didn't collapse sooner. Okay. If they intended to sap her to death, neither of them have so much magic power that they'd be worth stealing from either. This is actually a very, very interesting point. I could see the Carnamagos testament used against Lucy as a way to kill her remotely. Thing is, there are easier ways. We know that the testament doesn't work remotely. Someone has to be there because someone moved Simeon's body, right? So if someone's close enough to use the book, they are close enough to just stab you. And that's a much more surefire way of killing someone and I just saw an ant crawl into my monitor. You get out of there, bitch. I fucking hate ants. So it doesn't really make sense. Additionally, why target Simeon? Right? Lucy, sure, someone clearly has beef with her and with the entirety of the Webster family. So she makes sense as a target. But why Simeon? To try out how the Carnamagos testament works? No, it was used on Lucy beforehand. So it wasn't a trial run? I don't know, man. I have no clue. But it probably wasn't used as a means to kill her. It wasn't used as a means to get her power, because she doesn't have enough to be worth it. There are better targets for that. Yeah, we don't know why they were chosen to be victims. We really don't. And I like Elias's reasoning. It's a problem that Lucy get hit by it because Chise is gonna probably do something reckless about it. So it's a problem for me. And yeah, a problem for him because Simeon is someone who might potentially become a friend. Lindell and Rahab were only acquaintances. I don't think Elias had the emotional vocabulary back then to be able to call them friends. It's a fairly new concept for him, so it would make sense that they would just be acquaintances. I really like how we actually address the fact that, hey, she's a child. She's not all that experienced, all things considered. She might be powerful, but she doesn't really have experience. She's incredibly reckless. And the characters around her, the people around her, actually notice that. Right? It's not a, I don't know, fucking Harry Potter situation where they are essentially fine with 10-year-olds fighting the Lord of the Dead and what have you. It's an actual thing in the world that she's reckless and she's a child and we are the professors and it's our role to protect her. There's an extra class apparently. I wasn't sure what to think about Philomela kneeling here, but I think it's multiple things. First of all, it's just how she was raised, right? You are the servant, you are the executioner of our will. You kneel before your grandmother, you kneel before your betters, you kneel before Veronica, right? You're lower. So, and she wants something, right? She asks for something, so it's even more of a reason to kneel down and beg for a scrap of bread, almost. But there is also some reverence to it, right? The way she holds that potpourri, like it's a sacred item, kneeling before the goddess that brought this sacred item into the world. That's the kind of imagery that I have in my mind here. What do we have here? Neroli, orange, lavender, and something I can't read. What the fuck is Neroli? Is the scent? Neroli, of course, it is. Oh, it's orange blossom. Okay. The shock on her face. Is it something I could do? I could create a sacred item like this myself? you can teach me your ways? Is it even something that a mortal like myself can do? Is it not a lost sacred art? There's a lot of that really like reverence. And the sheer inability to deal with this amount of kindness, which to us is not that much. We know Chise, we know that she is just kind, and it's the like normal amount of kindness. But to Philomela, the suggestion that she can hang out with someone, that someone is going to do something especially for her, right? I will bring more kinds, especially for you, so that we can make more sense together. It's unthinkable to her. Yeah, there really is a lot of that almost like pietous reverence towards Chise. I like her. As a side note, I'm sold on Chise's new look. Actually, I wasn't sold on the short hair, but now that she wears it with a black turtleneck and a pair of jeans, it suits her. I like it. I like this look of hers. And this is 100% Veronica. And she probably suggested that Philomela is taken away from the academy. Possessive? Would be interesting if it turns out that Veronica is possessive of Philomela, right? She is my plaything, she is my servant. If she is to become someone else's friend, then I'd rather she's not here at all. Veronica is possessive of Philomela if she can't have her, nobody will. That's the vibe I'm getting, right? Philomela is under the threat of potentially getting a friend, a new friend. So it's better that she's just expelled from the academy and doesn't have any friends. She's not mine, she's not Chise's, but it's preferable to her being Chise's friend. Rune sorcery. They were originally used in everyday life as a phonetic writing system, yep. Each character is said to have its own meaning, indeed. Let's see if I can name them all. I don't know all of their meanings. Just to be clear, I just know a select few, but I know the names and the letters. Berkano, B, Tiwas, T, Kenas, K and C. This would be Othala. No, this would be Ingwas, or Ingvas. NG, Ansus, A, Yera, J, Sovilo, S, Lagus or Laukas, L, Isa, I, Naudis, N. This would be Wunyo. Yeah, this would be Wunyo. W, if I'm not mistaken, Urus, U, Thurisas, TH, Manas, M, Hagalas, H, Awas, EI, sound, A, Raito, R, Journey, Pertro, P, Gebo, G, Love. This is Wunyo. This is Wunyo, W. This would be Algis. Y or Z, something like that. Fehu, F, Awas, E, and this is Othala, O, and it's obstructed by the subs. So let me turn them off for a moment. Yeah, this is Othala. Yeah, I remember them. That's nice. It's also very nice that they are actually using like good and proper Elder Futhark instead of bullshitting their way around with made up runes. That's cool. They're used for all kinds of protective amulets, indeed, because, again, every single rune has a meaning. So if you have a Raida with you, then your journey will go well. If you have a Gebe with you, then you're gonna have luck in love, etc., etc. They are very versatile indeed. Thurisas, meaning thorn. Protection. It won't necessarily protect you in the way a human would prefer. Why do I get the feeling it's a Chekhov's gun? I don't know. Just, a random feeling I have. Thurisaz is a Chekhov's gun. Also, Thurisaz, I think nowadays more known as Thorn, because the word Thurisaz just means thorn in Proto-Scandinavian, or whatever that language is called. I actually took some classes on Proto-Scandinavian. I don't remember much, but I did take the classes. This is a character that you can use nowadays. Some alphabet. I'm not sure if some alphabets have it, or I think it's at least a part of the Unicode. But then it's probably most of the Elder Futhark. I mean, goddamn, Ogham alphabet is part of the Unicode, so why not Elder Futhark? But yeah, I sometimes see people stylize TH in the words they write, even on, social media, with this symbol. So it's the only one that's in active use, apparently. Nobody uses Inguas for NG, nobody uses Awas for EA, for EI, but some people use Thurisas for TH. Figures. We're making amulets. Yeah, I really thought that it's maybe the nurse sneaking in and trying to strangle Lucy with a pillow or something, and it turns out she was the shady character all along. But no, it turns out it's Zoe. I was wondering how much of a creep he is to just get into her room, but no, it's the infirmary. I just wanted to say hi. Can I pet your snakes? Damn girl, you just needed to ask. Yeah, my cat has a herbal problem. She's shedding because they started heating the apartments, and now it's hot. So she's shedding, even though it's winter. She's always shedding, to be clear. Yeah, just don't ask anybody to pet their snakes, to touch their snakes. You can touch my snake anytime, but don't go around touching other people's snakes. Youth. Doesn't care that the brother is laying in the next bed, just casually approaches a man and pets his snake. God damn it, Lucy. That little smile. That matters. Silky really just looks shell-shocked here. They're not gonna be coming back for a while. Well, god damn. Yen brought the sheep and has some meaningful talk with the center guy. Center guy whose name is is, if I can find him on my list of characters. I cannot. So he's just gonna be the center guy. Yeah, they talk about, you know, not sacrificing yourself, not being a fucking suicidal maniac. Chise really doesn't think. What would you have done if they hadn't settled for shit, right? She didn't think about it. She just doesn't think. She just acts first. That's her problem. I'm sure I want to live, but I keep acting before I realize it because of the lack of inhibitions. That's my belief. You know what you need to do? Make sure that doesn't happen. Patience. Patience. Yeah, I think that by facing death this many times, at least one time willingly, she just lost that sort of an inhibition. The prospect of dying just doesn't scare her, not enough, at least, because she was willing to take her life already once. So what's her life just being taken by someone else? It's nothing. It's not a problem. It's not a deterrent to her. But at the same time, she found a will to live in her life. So she is kind of between rock and a hard place, right? On one side, she wants to live. On the other, she doesn't mind if she died. She will have to face one way or the other eventually. Trick or treat. Treats or not, I'm still trolling you. Tricking. Is this fucking localizers at work? Inserting le funny haha memes into the subs? Or is it like actual, in the Japanese original words, it also said trolling. He's shady somehow. Especially with the way he said it. Like Tristan, like, oh, I know your secret, bitch. But then it was kind of just made into funny haha laughs. So it probably wasn't sinister after all. Kinda is. Up to this moment it seems sinister. But then he says, I'll smack you. And it suddenly stops being sinister. I wonder what was the goal. Yeah, I guess Alice wants to go trick-or-treating, what's his face, Renfred? Initially, I really was wondering what the fuck's going on with Zoe and Lucy. I thought we might be going for a reversal of the trope of, oh, you touched my elven ears, that means we are married now, into, oh, you touched my snakes, that means we are married now, and now Zoe is gonna be incredibly clingy towards Lucy, or something like that. But apparently not. Apparently he just wants to stop Lucy from going anywhere because she's just gonna collapse. Yeah, you might have escaped Zoe. You're not escaping Lucy and her Chise and her draconic strength. Is this what people feel like when they stop me or get mad at me for being reckless? Yes. How does it feel to be on the other side of the hand that grabs you? The Waste Tower. Right, it was brought up before in the episode. The undergrounders from the Waste Tower, they might be responsible for it somehow. I'm really getting heavy 7 Spellblades vibes. The undergrounders, the people who live in the labyrinth, performing some, I don't know, weird experiments and whatnot. Rumor has it that's where they keep the results of botched sorcery, and there are also rare ores and medicinal herbs. So it really seems like a whole ass like underground world. Again, 7 Spellblades style. Not a literal dungeon, but rather a meadow or a forest with a canopy and a firmament and everything, like a world underground. We haven't seen it yet though, so... And some shady stuff is going on. We can inform them later. Fewer and fewer qualified students. Qualified for what exactly? And why are you here, Philomela? She couldn't make it, so we came in her place. And Fabius going with us, or rather inviting us in. How'd he do that? God damn. Wachman. Yeah, Wachman. That's correct. Wachman Sensei, who's responsible for the gathering practice. And apparently she didn't run into her classmates, which tells me that the Waste Tower isn't like guarded or anything. There isn't like, you know, an employee of the school sat there watching for students coming and going. It's just a free-for-all. You can go there wherever, whenever. And if Chise and the rest just went there and there happened to be nobody there, they would just, kiss the door and walk back? Or what's the deal here? Yeah, the more and more I learn about this academy, the more and more it becomes reminiscent of the academy from 7 Spellblades. Yeah, thankfully Philomela is a friend. She loyally told Chise that, hey, watch out for him. Watch out for that guy. And now I'm also suspicious of the principal, of the headmistress. Oh boy. Yeah, it's grandmother, dearest, withdrawing her. College of England, Underground, GB Bus, Ton Road, Easton Road, London. I, Elizabeth Sargent, hereby withdraw my granddaughter Philomela Sargent from College of England. I cannot thank you enough for what Philomela have enjoyed studying and achieved growth. However, because of our family conditions, we decided to withdraw her from school. Reconsider her education environment. Proceed to the withdrawal process and delete from the register. Mill will provide the paper needed in the process. Lastly, I would like to thank you, education, them, and express my respect. Wish the school continued success in the future. Okay, kind of wonky English by the end, but sure, that works. So it is grandmother dearest withdrawing her. I think the headmistress knows what's up. I think she knows what's up. Oh, why am I just skipping since we know the title of the next episode, because it's gonna be the same except part 2, and there's nothing after credits to see. And I'm starting to slur my speech, so it's probably time to end the recording. Because I'm tired enough. Or rather, sleepy enough. I'm not tired, like, physically or mentally, but I am sleepy simply because time. Right. Another good episode. Another good episode, and I really enjoy this series. Again, I'm kind of reiterating that point in every single episode. I have nothing to say, so I just say that I enjoy the series and I enjoy the episode, but I did. That's a fact. I really like how human and real the characters are here, and how real the like reactions are. In today's episode, that was the greatest example of it. That people actually questioned Chise's involvement. Right? You're a child. You shouldn't be involved with it. You're reckless. Actually noticing the like shonen protagonist traits that usually just go unnoticed. Nobody gives a fuck about them. They just go about their lives in their shonen protagonist way, and nobody cares. Not so much the case here. People notice and people adjust for that. That's cool. I really like Philomela's relationship with Chise. I constantly hope, or rather, hope implies that something might not happen. I have faith that it will happen, that Philomela and Chise will become fully fledged friends, that Philomela will be free of the curse of her family, and that they will be able to just hang out like in this ending in a meadow somewhere, just having fun together. I fully expect that to happen, and I cannot wait for when it does. Another thing I really like is that we are given so many clues, and we are here for everything of import that happens, and yet we still don't know what's actually going on, what's actually going to happen, right? Who's responsible for stealing the testament of Carnamagos? Who's responsible for trying to assassinate Lucy? We might be led to think that it's the surgeons, but it's not a given. It could be the Rickenbackers working on the behest of Veronica. Plausible, entirely plausible. It could be a completely different party. It could be the Undergrounders plotting something completely unrelated to any sort of beef that anybody could have towards the Websters, right? All of that is entirely possible. I really like it because very often it shows either they either don't show you, the viewer, the clues necessary. They show those clues to the characters, right? A character might notice something off screen. A character might read something and say, interesting, but you, the viewer, cannot actually read that. You aren't shown that document. And then the mystery is solved, and you kind of feel cheated because you weren't able to approach that solution yourself because you were denied the necessary clues. On the other hand, on the other end of the spectrum, rather, you have shows that just overflow you with clues. And you know exactly what's going to happen by episode 4. Because you already were in the headquarters of the villains, you already heard what the big bad is planning, you already saw that document that fell on the ground and the main character didn't notice, but the camera panned to that document so that you, the viewer, can read it. and it just takes any sort of enjoyment, any sort of excitement, any sort of wonder from the show, because you just know what's gonna happen, and why watch it, really. It's not the case with Ancient Magus Bride. They show you enough clues to keep you interested. They don't withhold them from you. Like, the letter wasn't hidden anywhere. It wasn't a case of the headmistress looking at the letter, like, abstracted from your view, and being like, interesting, I didn't suspect that. Cut to the ending. But we were shown the whole entire body of the document. So I like it, because we have enough clues to potentially figure out what's the case, what's gonna happen, and we aren't showered with them to the point where we would have known what's gonna happen by episode 5. It's this sweet spot, it's the middle ground that works, that makes a show work, and it works, and it's great. Thumbs up, love this show, love this episode. Finale soon. And now I'm sleepy, so let's end it. You guys, you tell me, what did you think about this episode? About my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. No spoilers, please. Spoilers go to my Discord. Comments go into the comment section down below. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Ancient Magus Bride, but also Magia Record, Freeren, Shield Hero, Shangri-La Frontier, Psyhead and a Paladin, and others coming at you in the future. I also stream sometimes, so click the bell to be notified of when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And you can also support me monetarily on YouTube itself if you don't want to use Patreon, via memberships, super thanks, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB Without a Net, Group of Survivors, Zayrene, Shoshu, Akamaser, Puzzle, David, Dr. Watt, Marsh, Gala, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to go to the Waste Tower.